A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. We've got the latest of news from here at home and across the globe lined up for you this afternoon. First, a look at your top stories.
President stresses on a number of key points at a meeting with media heads. Vasantha Samarasinghe speaks of a way to cancel the Singapore FTA. JVP General Secretary Tilvin Silva says Mahinda Rajapaksa is not interested in creating a government to safeguard the country. Dr. Jayampathy Wickramaratne says 20th Amendment to the Constitution is not being implemented due to disagreements between the two main parties. Argentine austerity protests mount over IMF-backed measures.
Starting off with your top story this afternoon, President Maithripala Sirisena, speaking to heads of media institutions this morning, said that amendments will be made to the free trade agreement between Singapore and Sri Lanka based on the recommendations given by the committee appointed to look into the FTA.
The president further said if it is found that the FTA contains harmful factors, he will not hesitate to take appropriate actions on the matter. The president has requested all sectors to appear before the committee appointed to probe the Singapore FTA and provide details pertaining to the free trade agreement. President Sirisena further said he has no intention of postponing elections any further and stressed that the provincial council elections will be held after resolving the issues surrounding delimitation. He went on to note his objective is to remove the preferential voting system from all three elections. The president had also emphasized that it is paramount to review certain individuals who are currently holding certain positions and determine whether they are suitable to hold such positions. He also said he will take a firm stance on protecting the collective responsibility of the cabinet. President Sirisena said that a special police unit has begun investigations into statements made about a conspiracy to assassinate him, adding that a special meeting was called with the IGP and several others to review the progress of these investigations. He said a series of proposals with solutions on matters pertaining to the UNHRC and UN will be presented to the UN General Assembly on the 25th of this month. The president says he hopes to draw international attention towards solving the post-war situation in Sri Lanka in a cordial manner. He added that he will take steps to present the proposals to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. He added that national security and the armed forces in the country are not weak. President Sirisena said he was not pleased with the police, the CID and the Attorney General on arresting and remanding military officers over the alleged abduction and forced disappearances of youth. Commenting on the fuel price formula, the president said this formula had resulted in the increase in fuel prices and therefore he will take a decision on this formula in the near future. Finally, the president had noted that the budget for the year 2019 will be presented in Parliament on the 8th of November.
Moving on in more local news, the Baddegama police raided a house where illicit alcohol was being produced. The raid was carried out last night based on a tip-off received.
Police said the illicit alcohol production house was in operation for a period of time in a paddy field in Sandaragama, Baddegama. 2 people were stationed at the location during the time of the raid and one of them was taken to police custody. The suspect who escaped has been identified and the police have launched investigations to apprehend the suspect. The arrested suspect will be produced before the Baddegama Magistrate Court today. 1 Goda barrel, 25 bottles of spirit and several other equipments used in the production process were taken to police custody.
Some political news this afternoon. UNP parliamentarian Vijaypala Hettiarachchi, commenting on the present political situation in the country, spoke on former President Rajapaksa's visit to India.
What happened on the 5th of September? It was an attempt made by one to make his son as a leader. When one takes a look at the statement given by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa to the Hindu newspaper, the true picture is revealed. To the reporter, he says Namal has not reached the age to be the leader. So until that time, Rajapaksa is preparing to field his brother for the next presidential polls. So is this the post of president only for the members of the Rajapaksa family?
The JVP claims that Mahinda Rajapaksa does not intend on creating a government that will protect the country.
The people need a government that will safeguard the country, but Mahinda Rajapaksa has no intention of doing so. The issue we have is different to the issue they have. The people have no way of educating their children because it costs a lot and there are no facilities. They have no issue. Mahinda Rajapaksa's family members never learn, so they have no issues on education. Then we face the issues on obtaining medication because there are no medicines in hospitals and that too costs a lot. But they fly to Singapore even when they get a pain in the hip. They were in power before and now they are not. They want to come back to power. There are cases on fraud and corruption regarding matters when they were in power. There is a case on building a memorial for their parents using public funds. There are many other cases. If the cases continue, they will have to face the punishment and go behind the bars. They are trying to change the government to prevent that from happening.
Now, a new building of the Soiza Women's Hospital in Borella was declared opened yesterday. The event took place under the auspices of Minister of Health, Dr. Rajitha Senaratne. The 5-storied building is equipped with modern facilities and a blood bank.
We came to open this unit at the hospital, which is essential for children, and also other facilities including laboratories and blood bank. In the near future, I will build an even bigger building with foreign aid. We will spend 1,200 million or 1.2 billion rupees for that. Every new building that is built here will be up to European standards.
Now, convener of the Voice Against Corruption, Vasantha Samarasinha, commented on the Sri Lanka-Singapore Free Trade Agreement.
There
is only one way to cancel this agreement: present it to Parliament and defeat it in a debate. Then inform Singapore that this has become a national issue and that we cannot proceed with it. We should reverse the Anti-Dumping Act. They should have opposed this back then, but they didn't, because they all share the same set of policies. Mahinda Rajapaksa visits temples and says that the Mattala airport shouldn't be handed over to India. But when he is in India, he says the exact opposite. The agreement was signed on the 23rd of January, but the laws pertaining to the agreement was established on March the 9th. How did the Attorney General grant approval to sign an agreement based on a non-existing law in the country? Think about it. When it is discussed in Parliament based on the law, it has to be amended accordingly.
A conference on the 20th Amendment to the Constitution was held in Kurunegala yesterday. Here are some of the views that were expressed during the conference.
At the steering committee meeting regarding the executive presidency, one of the SLFP representatives came and said they would fully support the abolishment of the executive presidency. It was reported and it is on record. We went home happy that day. But it is sad to say that when the final report came in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, they said they are against completely abolishing the executive presidency. One of the main reasons for this constitutional process to be stalled and not to proceed further is the lack of a consensus between the two main parties on the executive presidency.
That's all the news we've got for you this afternoon. To follow details of these stories and more, you can log on to our award-winning website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team. Your latest news update will come your way at 1:55. Good day.